7 o'clock.
Today's news.
Civil War era abortion ban upheld in Arizona.
The ruling was asinine.
Always a really good decision to protect life. Severe storms threaten the south.
Pretty strong tornadoes possible and heavy rain.
New limits on chemicals in drinking water. EPA says this will prevent thousands of deaths. Good morning, I'm Cammie McCormick with the CBS World News Roundup. Arizona's top court has revived a law dating back to 1864 that bans abortion in virtually all instances.
Its consequences, I think, are dangerous and devastating, but we really don't know the true extent of how awful this decision will be for some time.
It's another setback for reproductive rights in a state where the procedure was already banned starting at 15 weeks of pregnancy. The ACLU's Jared Keenan.
In states where abortion bans have gone into effect, we've seen devastating consequences. You can see it in Texas, for example. You have people who need both elective abortions and medical care necessary to save their lives, and they're just unable to get it because of these draconian laws. And so those types of awful outcomes are going to spread to Arizona.
The law provides no exceptions for rape or incest. Severe weather has been pounding Texas and now moves east, threatening Louisiana and Mississippi with flooding rain and the possibility of tornadoes. Here's our David Parkinson.
The risk is for damaging tornadoes that could be EF2s or larger, ones that are on the ground for a while. And when you take a look at the places that are going to be impacted by this threat, it's not only New Orleans and Baton Rouge right along that corridor, but it goes all the way to Mobile by the time you get to Wednesday night into Thursday. President Biden is sharpening his criticism of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
President Biden has stepped up his public criticism.
I think what he's doing is a mistake.
Speaking on Univision, the president was especially critical of last week's deadly attack on World Central Kitchen aid workers.
It's outrageous that those 4 first-aid vehicles were hit by drones and taken out.
His comments come as Vice President Harris met with families of Americans held hostage on Tuesday.
We need results. We need our people home.
And as the humanitarian crisis unfolds, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin issued a direct warning, saying if Israel doesn't allow for more aid and separate Palestinian civilians from Hamas, it'll create more terrorists in the future.
It will accelerate violence.
A whistleblower who came forward after a Boeing 737 MAX jet lost a door panel in flight is raising new questions about the company's safety measures. Sources tell CBS News federal regulators are now looking into the claims over a different Boeing jet. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
The FAA is investigating claims by a Boeing quality engineer that he observed shortcuts during the production of the 787 Dreamliner. He worries they could lead to structural integrity issues years down the line as the jet ages. His lawyer urged the FAA to widen its probe of Boeing to focus on the company's entire production process, not just the 737. But Boeing is pushing back strongly, saying, "We are fully confident in the 787 Dreamliner."
The EPA has announced its first ever drinking water standards to protect people against toxic forever chemicals found in many household and everyday items. Matt Piper reports. PFAS are also known as forever chemicals, says Eric Olson with the Natural Resources Defense Council, and they're sometimes deadly.
You can't smell these chemicals, you can't taste them, you can't see them. So that's why these new rules are so important.
He says the new standard will address 6 of the toxic chemicals.
EPA's estimate is as many as 105 million people have these chemicals in their water, drinking it every day, putting it in their coffee.
He calls the new standards a breakthrough. Matt Piper, CBS News. Time on the roundup, 4 minutes past the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 53 degrees in Fairfield, California.